So this last one is Nevada GOP sends criminal referral to DOJ over the alleged voter fraud. So this is in Nevada. This is the Washington Times. Nevada Republican Party sent a criminal referral late Thursday to the U.S. Justice Department asking for investigations into the cases of voter fraud. Our lawyers just sent a criminal referral to AG Barr regarding at least 3,062 instances of fraud. We expect that number to grow substantially through thousands of individuals have been identified who appear to have violated the law by casting ballots after they moved from Nevada. The organization said in a tweet referring to Attorney General William P. Barr. The group did not provide any evidence of the alleged voter fraud. Let's see, earlier in the day, Adam Laxalt, a Republican and former Nevada Attorney General, also claimed to have evidence of voter fraud, but he also did not make the details public. In the last many days, we have received reports of many irregularities in the valley. We believe that there are dead voters that have been counted. We are also confident that there are thousands of people whose votes have been counted that have moved out of Clark County during the pandemic, he said during a press conference. A Justice Department spokesperson confirmed receipt of the referral and said the department is looking into it. The Nevada GOP move came while President Trump had a press conference and claimed without elaborating the election is being stolen from him. So, like, this is important because it's no longer just baseless claims. Now they have evidence. Now they didn't make it public, probably because it's going to be done in court. There's probably going to be an investigation. They don't want to let the evidence out. You don't want to tell the people who are doing it that you know where they are and that you know that they're doing it exactly, so that when you can catch them in the act. These are all I'm assuming, and but it doesn't matter if you are a Biden supporter and this doesn't bug you because clearly your guy's winning. But what if he's winning because he's cheating? Would that bug you, or are you okay with that? Is your only thing like as long as he gets out of office? If that's the case, like you're a traitor and you're no longer American because you should want it to be fair, regardless. If you can't trust the voting process, then it's ridiculous. And same thing for Trump. If you're for Trump and you're only saying this because you didn't want him to lose, then you're ridiculous as well. Like, stop making excuses. But there were like, especially after like the jump in Michigan and then the pause and then all of a sudden, like, that's all weird. That's not something that normally happens. It's But I wasn't ready to say it was. I mean, I said it seems like there could be some voter fraud, but I wasn't ready to say there was. But now after we're starting to see things come through in these investigations, like, there's evidence now. It's not just baseless claims. So you should want this, like, if they are, you want them to be caught to make this system as fair as possible. So even if your guy loses, it doesn't matter on which side you're on. As Americans, you should want a fair election process. Don't be trash. And I know a lot of like people on the left and some on the right are trash. You act like trash, and the only thing that you want is your person to win, and you're willing. It doesn't matter what your candidate does, right? And it's not just Trumpers. Biden's garbage too. I don't know, but that's on you guys. So I hope they catch, like, if there is, I hope they catch all of them, and I hope they go to prison. Like, there has to long sentences, and yeah, because this has to stop. Period. I don't care if it's Republican, Democrat, blue wigs. If there's ever a party somewhere and trying to start up with some retarded ass name like that, I don't care. If you cheating, then you need to go to jail. So, our republic is important, especially, you know. So, yeah. Well, this concludes this video. This one's a little bit longer than the other one. You can check my other video, the first one. I'll link it at the end. And then, yeah. So like and subscribe if this was helpful. I mainly focus on a lot of like issues with the black community, and then also I want to start getting some solutions and talking to people who have solutions, other than those people are racist and they need to give us money. I want solutions like we need to raise our kids with better education. How can we as a community raise our kids with a better education, other than trusting giving more money to public schools? Like, how can we take more responsibility for our own kids? But like and subscribe to my page, because when important things happen in politics, I like politics. I like religion, so occasionally you'll see a religious video. Occasionally you'll see a politics video. You'll see videos about the hood and like killings and stuff, and how black on black oppression, because that's what this page is about mostly. And solving it. So that's where the solutions and stuff can. So yeah, a lot of times I bring up negative things, but I also want to start talking about solutions, and I plan on doing that with my Casper Ghost that I have on. I have and probably will have Ron on too, and I'll have I'm trying to get another guy on. He's just busy, so. Y'all take care, be safe, and whoever wins, hopefully we can handle this like a civilized people. Unless you come for my guns, and then I'll be a savage, because I like guns and freedom. I like guns and freedom, and you know, I'm a free man. Like I'm not gonna die a slave. Although a lot of black people are fine with being slaves, mentally being slaves. I'm gonna do a video on how wokeness or the 2020 version or the modern version of the Willie Lynch paper or the letter, and it talks about how to control blacks and make them hate each other. Like, that's the new wokeness. You ignore how you kill each other, but you blame everybody else for your problems, while you guys are still killing and stealing from each other, while your neighborhoods are still poor. So it makes you feel good to be able to blame other people, but you're not getting anything new. They're not teaching you what you need to do to be independent, because they want you to rely on them so they have control and power over you. They'll promise you things. Sometimes they'll give you free stuff, but they won't give you freedom. So, and your responsibility is freedom. As an individual, the more responsibility you give over to the government, the less freedom you'll have. So, you can take that to the bank. You'll have a good day. Shalom. This one comes out of Pennsylvania. U.S. Postal Service has about 1,700 ballots found in Pennsylvania facility. Washington Reuters, the U.S. Postal Service, UPS, or USPS, said about 1,700 ballots have been identified in Pennsylvania at processing facility during two sweeps Thursday, and were being delivered to election officials. In a court filing early Friday, USPS said that 1,076 ballots had been found at the USPS Philadelphia Processing and Distribution Center. About 300 were found at the Pittsburgh Processing Center, 266 at the Lehigh Valley facility, and others found at other Pennsylvania processing centers. Ballots must be received by Friday evening in Pennsylvania in order to be counted. The vote for the U.S. president remains extremely close, and Pennsylvania is one of the states that remains undecided. About 500 ballots were also discovered in North Carolina during sweeps, USPS said on Friday. it's good that they're finding them, but it also kind of stinks. Like, it smells like there's something could be wrong or corruption. But I don't know. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying it's kind of weird. Um, Take it for what it is. So here's another USPS. This one is the New York Post. And it basically is another story. It talks about how large amounts of ballots were not early election. The mail-in ballots were not delivered. 30 in Philadelphia, 33.7% of mail-in ballots were not delivered. In Atlanta, the same goes for 17.9% of mail-in ballots, and in Detroit, 21.1% of the filing states. Let's see. For Greensboro, North Carolina, 27.1% were not delivered, and in Lakeland, Wisconsin, the figure is 23.2% according to the filing. Like, at the end, like, what mail-in ballot, like doing the whole mail-in thing is not working. We should never do it again. It should always be in person. There's too much corruption and voter fraud that can actually happen, and we're seeing it. There's no longer like it's no longer just a rumor, and it never was. Like, I remember, because up until Trump had said something, you could find all kinds of voter fraud articles on the internet. But as soon as Trump said something, all of a sudden Google, whatever they did with the algorithm, everything was like, oh, voter fraud doesn't happen. Study shows this and that. Like, they're traitors, and they're trying to control. They're trying to manipulate the election, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So, that's my little rant. I shouldn't have went on that rant, but I'm just saying. And then on USPS, like, obviously we can't trust them. Like, they're not good at their job. I mean, like, that's not. I mean, kind of knew that before, but they're not good at their job because, like, look at all these ballots that weren't delivered. Like, that is a big. That affects the election. So that's a mess. So no more mail-in ballots, hopefully. But knowing Democrats, they'll use whatever tactic they can use to cheat. I know Republicans have done election fraud as well, but it's largely Democrats. They're the best at it.